I am the living legend of hair loss, the true alpha male, the modern day Blackbeard. These are all facts, by the way. What you're looking at is the masculine version of peanut butter and jelly. Or is it peanut butter and jelly? Either way, your life, your quality of life is about to be improved by watching this video. Minutes of your life you'll never get back. Let's talk about Iron Man 1. I have seen every Marvel movie, with the exception at this point of Iron Man 3, and I haven't seen I haven't seen every single minute of the Incredible Hulk movie starring Edward Norton. Edward Norton is kind of out of the canon a little bit. Either way, so I finally saw Iron Man 1. And here's an observation. I thought I need to take this back to my videos. What I noticed about Iron Man 1, great movie. Obviously, I love the commentary about how in the United States, obviously we were policing the world by capitalizing on war, especially 9/11. You know, the whole thing. Who was hijacking the planes? Who crashed into the towers? Saudi Arabian people. Not the people that we're attacking, not the people we've been at war with for nearly 20 years. You know, so I'm fascinated by that. I love the political game of a plot behind that. How Tony Stark himself was realizing that by having a business based on creating weapons for the military in the United States, ultimately that was backfiring. And ultimately in modern day we recognize that our whole war on terror has ultimately created ISIS. Man, this is getting deep for a hair loss video. Let's get back on track. In the movie though, if you really consider the main three villains, you got the Jeff Bridges character. He's not actually, he's like me. He's not bald. You could say he's got a bit of a receding hairline, if anything, but he's not balding. And granted, he's a lot older than me, so either way. But he has this look going on. He's got the bald and bearded look. And then there's the two like Middle Eastern guys that are like by default the other two villains. And one of them is completely bald, clean shaven. The other one has short hair, a juvenile hairline, but he has a beard. But either way, all three of the villains are either bald, bearded, or both. And I think that's interesting. Now, something I have heard before, and it's undeniable, a lot of the times in movies, the villain will have some kind of physical handicap. I'll give you an easy example. The first Captain America movie, Red Skull, obviously, he was maimed, you know, by becoming the German version of Captain America, and it backfired. There's so many examples of that, but ultimately a lot of villains end up being bald. Granted, this movie was filmed in 2008, and I think even since those past 11 years, what we've seen is that much more acceptance of this look, where now that Fast and Furious even, I think, is really a movie franchise, as silly as it might be, has helped make this thing more mainstream. So I think it's interesting to look back to 2008. Villains, bald, bearded, or both. And are we seeing now, though, to where it's not so much a son to a villain, but actually the hero? And not so long ago, I made a movie about the Meg with Jason Statham. Arguably one of the most attractive men in Hollywood. No, it's not even argue. It's not, you can't argue it. It's a fact. He is one of the most attractive men in Hollywood. Can't grow a whole lot of hair up on here, but he buzzes it off. What a Norwood, or was it a number one guard, maybe a 0, with the stubble. And he's not even a big guy. And granted, he's definitely got the muscles, but I'm 5'9", he's 5'10". He's not that big of a guy. He just works out, and he doesn't even care to like shave it down to the skin, even though he's what, Norwood 5 or whatever it is. So it's interesting. I think maybe complete coincidence that the main three villains of Iron Man 1 were all bald and or bearded. I think that's interesting, but I think that's going to change the more we go on, and eventually to where we see the first bald, even if by choice, the first bald U.S. president. Your comments belong right here.